Welcome to the Global Peace Film Festival Lives Online Conversation 2022 Festival Edition. Please join me, Kelly Devine, the Artistic Director, and Nina Stripe, the Executive Director, as we welcome Daniel Troya, the filmmaker for the film We Are All in This Together. You can see this film and many others at our upcoming September event. The in-person screenings begin September 19th and run through the 25th, followed immediately by our virtual access beginning September 26th through October 2nd. To find out when this film is being scheduled, please go to our website, peacefilmfest.org. And now, please join us in welcoming Daniel in We're All in This Together, a really inspiring film. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited about being a part of this festival. When I was researching different film festivals to submit my movie into, this one definitely caught my eye. I love the theme of this festival, so thank you.
And thank you. We were so thrilled to be able to accept this film into the festival. So let's start out. Tell us about it. Tell us about the film.
Yeah, so my movie is called We Are All in This Together, and it's about finding the human connection during divisive times. So for this movie, I started in California on my bicycle, and I rode across America with no food, no money, in search of human connection. And I equipped myself with hidden camera glasses, and I had a sign that said, "Biking across country, ran out of food, anything helps." And I was holding this sign on street corners in front of grocery stores. And if I was fortunate to receive some help, I would ask the person, "Hey, do you have a story about when somebody helped you and you really needed it?" And I was collecting these stories through my camera glasses. And the reason why I was using camera glasses is because I wanted to capture the real, genuine interactions in the moment without the person knowing that I was making a documentary. And then afterwards, I would tell them I was making a film, but I wanted this film to be as real and genuine as possible. I also bought a drone with me to capture landscape footage to show you kind of the areas I was riding through. And I ended up spending 7 months on the road capturing these experiences. And I guess the theme of the film is showing that there's more that brings us together than what separates us.
It's an amazing journey that you go on. And Daniel, how did you come about deciding to do this and to film it?
Yeah, so a couple years earlier, somebody gifted me a book called The Kindness of Strangers, and it was about a man who hitchhiked across America with no food or no money in the 90s. And I read that book and I was super inspired by it. And I thought to myself, I would love to recreate something like that, but on my bicycle. And I thought I'd love to film it, but how could I film it like in having it being real and genuine? And then I came up with the camera glasses, and I thought, well, if I have camera glasses, then maybe I can just kind of give that first person experience of what I'm going through. So and also I think another inspiration was just I was really starting to feel all the tension and division in the country, and it was really weighing on me. And I thought, instead of being, because I was feeling anger about the division, and I thought, well, maybe I can turn that into something positive and maybe make a film about love and compassion and kindness and togetherness. And so that's kind of what inspired the film.
Well, that definitely comes through. And
Mm.
was there anything in particular along the way that surprised you? I mean, you can't help but have some set of expectations when you embark on a trip like this.
Yeah, definitely. I think, I mean, seeing that people who are literally like experiencing homelessness and receiving help from them, whether it's from their food stamps or, if they had a little bit of change or like if they, maybe had an extra sandwich or something, that was incredibly heartwarming to see that. I think another thing was the dumpster diving I was doing, because before I left, I prepared myself by reading a book on dumpster diving. And I knew that was going to be an option, but the amount of food that was being wasted across America was like unbelievable. I got a huge chunk of my food every day from the dumpster. So that was pretty shocking as well. Yeah.
Wow, that is a remarkable learning curve in terms of uh, the need that's out there for so many people who are struggling, and yet the
Yeah.
waste on the other side. I know it wasn't the point of your film to find a way to alleviate those two things, but it does give one pause to think about the need, to work on balancing that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And certainly in your film, when you talk about the divisions, you go through, you go from California to the East Coast, so you travel through all kinds of communities and you meet all kinds of people. Did you find that there were uh, just along the way, was it the road itself that was the hardest and not the people, or were there different situations along the way?
Yeah, there were different situations along the way. I mean, the physical aspect of the journey was pretty tough because I crossed like, the Sierra Nevadas, and I ended up crossing the Rocky Mountains going west and then coming back east too. And just the heat was definitely something in the middle of summer, riding in 105 degrees in Kansas. And so the physical aspect was tough, but I grew a beard. And as my beard got longer, I started to be treated differently. And so there was very eye-opening for me to think about, I could have shaved that beard at any time and then I would have been treated differently. But if my skin color wasn't white, I think this experience would have been a lot different for me. And so that's something that it made me think about just the privileges of being like a white man that I have going across the country. And so there was things like that that were made me think about my own the privileges and blessings I've had throughout my life.
Well, that's a nice way to put it. That because I think sometimes when people have those realizations, unfortunately, their reaction is to be defensive rather than to think about it as it was a blessing in a way, and so how can you extend that to other folks, right? How can we even this out, right?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
fantastic. Well, part of what really, as soon as I saw this film, the mission of our festival, which is to, is not simply to show entertaining, compelling stories, which your film certainly is. And I, recommend anyone listening to this seek this film out if they happen to miss it at the Global Peace Film Festival. But we also really hope that at the end, when the lights come up and they sit a little taller in their seat and they wonder what they can do, I wonder if you have, any advice for people of things that they could take back into their own lives, into their own communities that came out of your own journey.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the thing that stands out the most to me after this experience was just every day there's an opportunity to really help somebody. And I don't mean by like giving food or money. I'm talking more about like acknowledging people and making them feel seen. Because as time went on and my appearance started to change, and like the stresses of trying to find a safe place to sleep and trying to find a place to bathe and trying to get enough food, that started to weigh me down. And I know I was putting out a different energy, so I was getting treated differently because of it. And I noticed that even if someone didn't have something to give towards the end, even if they just acknowledged me and said, have a nice day, that really like mattered to me and it made a difference. And I've since coming back from that experience, I've just thinking about like my day-to-day stuff, like when I'm at work, even just like greeting my coworkers. And if I'm feeling like there's something going on, just acknowledging them and letting them know they're seen as people, because I started to feel invisible as time went on. And I was getting treated differently and I was getting like yelled at more. Again, this is just based on my appearance. And so I think that's something that, because there's a lot of things in the world, I think we'd all like to change the world, and it can be overwhelming to think about, making a huge impact. But the one thing that we can control is how we treat each other. And so I think that's something that every day we have a really special opportunity to treat somebody kindly.
That's such a beautiful thought. And I've always had a philosophy that the most important thing that you can do is reach out to one person, and so your film definitely shows how important that is. So what can people watching this and people who see the film, what can they do to support the film and support your work? And also tell us what's next for you.
Thank you. I appreciate your nice words. As far as supporting the film, I mean, going to the website, we are all in this together movie.com, and maybe the trailer's on there, and just sharing the trailer with friends or people that you think would be interested in it. And I think that's the best way right now. I've just been trying to, build the film organically through film festivals, and it's been really special to be able to share it through these festivals. And so I think that's the best way, is just sharing the trailer with anybody who thinks they'd be interested in it. As far as what's next for me, So currently I'm working with a man named Rob Greenfield. He's an environmental activist, and we are making a film. Actually, we're just starting like now. I'm in Wisconsin. And for the next 30 days, he's going to be eating only wild food that he can forage for. So tomorrow we're going to go wild ricing near Lake Superior. And he's going to be traveling across the country, leading these foraging walks in different parts of the Northeast and Midwest. And yeah, we're going to be focusing on showing that there's abundance of food available to everyone if we just look, we keep our eyes open for it. He says there's food growing freely and abundantly all around us. And so that's the film I'm making. It's going to be this journey that he's taking 30 days of eating wild food. And yeah, I think the best way to watch the film will be just on his YouTube channel. His name is Rob Greenfield. And yeah, that's what I'm working on currently. And I'd say next year, my next goal is I want to ride my bicycle across Africa and make a documentary about that. And
Oh my
that's I'm really excited for that one.
Oh my goodness, Daniel, that's amazing. Well, now that we're all connected, you'll have to keep us posted on all of these updates, because we love to share these updates with our Global Peace Film Festival followers through our social media channels. So please do send us posts, let us know, and we will get the word out.
Thank you very much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for everyone who watched this particular Glow. We've been speaking with Daniel Troya, the filmmaker behind We Are All in This Together. And again, you can learn more about his work at the website weareallinthistogethermovie.com. And please do consider watching the film if you're in the Florida area, the Central Florida area, as part of our 20th anniversary film festival. Our in-person screenings begin September 19th through the 25th. Followed immediately by our virtual program beginning September 26th, ending October the 2nd. All of the information about our films, the schedule, all of our art exhibits, those can be found at peacefilmfest.org. Thank you, and we'll see you at the next Glow.